been in El Jordan for 2 years now. Work with the children ages 6 months to about 12 years old. And then I also work on Saturdays with a teenage girl program, the 12-year-olds to 18. And also working on some community development starting this next upcoming year. Come, I would say pray, but God here is doing amazing things, and for anyone to get to see and be a part of that, God uses that. God uses that in their life to show them who He really is, and can use them here to be an example to our students, to be a light, to be different, no? And just to show them how God's love is so big and so diverse, and yet so specific for each person, that God loves us all and God loves us personally too.
We went to a special needs home run by this man named Marco, and we went there to help him out. He's by himself 24/7, 365. He has a lady that helps him with the laundry sometimes, but other than that, it's just him and the boys that are there. I believe there's 13 of them. And so when we went, we knew that we would be sorting clothes, cleaning, doing things like that. And with my job, I'm a caretaker, I clean for a living. And so when I knew that I could actually do something that I was good at, I was like, well, this is good. Like I'm happy that I can actually be of use. So when we went in, I was cleaning the washrooms and just going through what I was used to doing at work, and I was just really happy that I could actually help them and do something that I could actually do, not that I was uncertain about, that I would just go in and just go for it.
Honestly, I didn't know what to expect going on the trip. It was my first missions trip ever, and I didn't know anything about Bolivia really going down. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it. I didn't know if they would like me, but honestly, it was amazing once you go down and you meet all these people, and it's really life-changing, and I would do it again in a heartbeat to see all the people that I met and to experience it all again. When you're going on vacation, you only see the good stuff. You see the beaches, the pretty waters, and the resorts. You don't see the hard stuff, the real life, like going under the bridges to see people that are completely homeless and addicted to drugs, that have nothing to eat and drink. And so it's completely different. You see real life. You don't see the version of life that the resort and the travel agents basically want you to see.
Probably seeing Jenny, who I saw 2 years ago, getting to reconnect with her. Even though she didn't remember me, I remembered her and a little bit about her family, and actually got to meet her kids this time. And so that was nice, because the reason I came back was to reconnect with people and to see how they're doing, and to just remind myself that missions is not just like a 10-day period, it's a whole life period. And these people who work are in it for the long haul. So as much as I like to be able to do that when I come down every few days, every few years, it's a reminder that there are people who are working this for their whole lives, and I just come here for a small chunk.
Yesterday, when we were sharing our testimonies, afterwards, a couple of ladies stopped to tell us what our testimonies had meant to them. And one of the ladies shared about how we had gone out to the property with her and her family and spent the day with her. And she said for the first time in her life, she felt like she had value and she felt like she had worth. At one point in the day, Jody and Jenna had gone and done the dishes for her. So she was doing the dishes and they said, here, let us do it. And she said it meant so much to her to really give her a picture of how much she had value and worth. Her whole life, she's felt like she had no value at all. every time she tried to get on the bus, people wouldn't let her get on the bus. People just like put her down and didn't say anything nice to her whole entire life. But Jody and Jenna just doing the dishes meant so much to her to show her her value and her worth. So sometimes it's just the little things like doing dishes for somebody which can mean a whole lot.
A typical day for our trip would be starting off in the mornings. We would all go to this one small kitchen in this apartment, and that's where we would have our breakfasts, and then we'd do our morning devotionals. Each team member would have a devotional prepared, and we'd take turns, and then we would kind of just talk about what we're possibly doing that day, and we'd spend time praying together. But then after that, that's the only constant thing, because then every day is different. First day, we did an orientation. We started to understand the culture in Bolivia and how love in people's eyes is so skewed to the point where they'll use it to manipulate so that they can have personal gain. Then after that, we actually prepped for a recital. And this was one of their big fundraisers to raise money for Christmas on the streets, where they're going to go and hand out meals to 500-600 people. And this recital was large, where we had to set up a taco quesadilla station, and there was like a shish kebab station, and there's just seating everywhere. Like it was like a cafe outdoors. And then the main room was just set up with a big stage, and different performers were coming in. Then we had days where we did sandwich runs. We made sandwiches. Some different groups would go under the bridge. Some would just go on the streets. Some would go to the wooded areas where people who are addicted to drugs and who are homeless, this is where they would live. And they don't have anything to eat, so just seeing us with food was such a big thing. We also did home visits, where some of the ladies who come to El Jordan for classes, they're not in the greatest situation in life, and so we were able to bring gifts from here in Canada. We bought those on our own, and we brought it down to bless them and their families. And so we just spent time just to get to know them, get to know their stories, and just to encourage them. There's other days where we spend time at the boys' workshop. They have a property just for teenage boys, and we had fun with them. We played minute-to-win-it games, like a ton of them. And then Mr. Brad here had a Bible study ready for the boys. So we got to do some ministering. Our girls on our team would teach two different classes of these ladies who come, and they would teach them different recipes. This year we got to teach them how to make timbits, basically donut holes. And they did, I don't know, 8 to 10 different flavors. And then we taught them how to make what we call fiddlesticks, and I guess that's chocolate oatmeal desserts.